LSU hammers McNeese. Let's recap it. Locked on LSU. Here we go.
You are Locked On LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked On LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making it your first listen. We are free, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. So thank you so much for that. LSU, after being swept at Auburn, bounces back with a 10-3 throttling of McNeese. And y'all know what I'm going to say. Midweek games don't matter. And they don't. You could lose every midweek game you ever play, go 20-10 in the SEC, you're a national seed, period. I'm glad LSU got this win. McNeese came into the box with an RPI of 26, 12-game winning streak, which was currently the longest in the country. That's a good team. And that's a McNeese team that came into this game probably thinking that was an RPI type resume building opportunity where if they had gotten it, you kind of start talking about the possibility of an at-large berth in regional play for McNeese on the backs of a strong schedule and a win like that. They've already beaten Houston in the midweek. So for McNeese, this is one where, make no mistake, this wasn't just about, we're the team from Louisiana that wants to go play LSU and win. I mean, that dynamic's always there when LSU plays teams in the midweek. But this is one for McNeese that they looked at this one like a resume builder for a team that has the rare opportunity, mid-major, who has the rare opportunity to get an at-large berth if they don't win their conference tournament. So nice night for LSU all the way around. There's a lot I want to get into. If you're new to the format, thank you so much for being here with us. It's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night. We're hanging out. There's more than 100 of y'all watching. I love it so much, man. So I love doing this. Makes me smile. Like legitimately, as much as I have deep love in my heart for LSU baseball, the fact that there's so many of y'all that feel the same way that join me here at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night to recap LSU McNeese is awesome. So sincerely, thank you to all of you for being there. I'll give you my thoughts on the game for about 10 minutes. I'll grab my one quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll get to all your questions and comments. So please fire away. So I thought LSU, clearly the major issue for the Tigers this weekend was the lack of offense. And my goodness, did they emphatically bounce back tonight. 10 runs on 13 hits for the Tigers. They did leave 8 on base. Tiger hitters drew 7 walks. One batter was hit by a pitch. They had the homer by Jones, 2 doubles in the ball game as well. Really, you just saw a very consistent approach at the plate. Every starter had a hit in this game. Of course, the 2-run homer by Jones in the first got you started off really good. Brown, who was in the starting lineup, I'll spare you. You know my feeling. Jake Brown needs to be in the lineup every day. Brown with an RBI single to make it 3-0 in the first. The big damage got done in the bottom of the fourth for the Tigers, where LSU in the bottom of the fourth had a massive 2-out rally for a 4-run fourth where they go strikeout, double homer. I'm sorry, that was the top of the fourth. Forgive me. Bottom of the fourth. That's when William Schmidt got into trouble. We'll get to that in a second. Bottom of the fourth. You go pop out, fly out. So 2 outs, quick. And then you go single, RBI single, RBI single. 4 straight singles. Now it's 6-2. Brown reaches on an error to make it 7-2. A run comes home. Another single makes it 8-2. And that was Milam, by the way, who got caught off of second base trying to scramble back to second base at that point. But still, you put up a 4 spot with 2 outs. You went 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive hits, reached on an error, then another single. So 6 straight batters reached base with 2 outs. Patient approach, really good approach for the Tigers. That put them up 8-2. Yet an RBI sac fly in the 5th, and then Fry's double finished up the scoring in the bottom of the eighth, and LSU would win it 10-3. So Bear Jones is the one to talk about in this ball game. Jones was awesome. He reached base every time, 3 for 3, 3 RBIs. He had the homer. He walked twice. I know some of you are probably going to look at that and say, well, great, he hit against McNeese. What about an SEC play? The point is, Jared Jones can hit an SEC play. Jared Jones has hit an SEC play his entire career. Jared Jones is an awesome baseball player who had a really miserable weekend where he was 1 for 13 with 6 strikeouts. And that sucks. There's no way around it, but everybody in the history of ever has had a miserable weekend like that. There was just no one there to pick him up. So, Jones right now is hitting 254 in league play after that weekend. But on the season coming into tonight, Jones was at 360. He got his average up over 370 after this ball game. So great to see for Jared Jones. It's notable that Jay Johnson did go with a little bit of a lineup change. He moved Dickinson to the leadoff spot, who was 1 for 4 with a walk. Curiel dropped to the 2-hole, and then Jared Jones batted third. Honestly, I know a lot of you have clamored for this, and I don't disagree with you. Listen, if you're batting in the 2-hole, you're going to see a lot of strikes. And then Dickinson really has protected Jones in the lineup all season batting third. So I've had no problem with it. But if you're looking for a run-producing opportunity, if you put guys ahead of Jones that can get on base, and then Jones is hitting third, then naturally he's going to have more RBI opportunities, and that presented itself tonight. So I don't know that Jay Johnson sticks with this, and I heard him in the pregame interview on the LSU Sports Radio Network talk about it, that it wasn't something they were sticking with. It was more opponent specific with the lineup shift. We'll see if they stick with it this weekend against Alabama with the Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. The one thing that is worth mentioning is Ethan Fry. Fry on the season now is hitting over 360. As a matter of fact, after tonight, Fry's average, Jones is up to 373. Fry's at 370 on the season, but here's the rub. Fry's at 370 on the season, but this has been my point about Fry for as long as he's been at LSU. He's always been able to hit midweek. The problem has been in league play. So Fry's hitting 370 on the season, but in league play, he's at 222. So, and he's got 10 strikeouts and 36 at-bats. So he's striking about 1 every 3 at-bats. And that's a concern. I know Jay Johnson thinks the world of him. He's got a big body. He's got a ton of pop. We know all that. The problem has been in his career hitting SEC pitching. So what type of opportunity does he get this weekend with Alabama coming to the box? We'll see. I mean, Jay Johnson's going to run him out there. I don't know that it'll be for all 3 games. So all in all, a really good offensive day. I mean, we could highlight anybody. Derek Curiel continued his on-base streak, which they talked about plenty on the TV broadcast tonight, so it was great to see. On the mound, William Schmidt got the ball, and after allowing 2 singles in the first, he was really good. He retired 9 straight until he ran into trouble in the fourth. So with 1 out, the 2 singles in the first, and went strikeout, ground out, up and down in order in the second, up and down in order in the third, and got a strikeout to start the fourth, and then he went double, homer, single, walk, and his day was over. And I think Ben McDonald did a great job on the broadcast mentioning it, and he's 100% right. For William Schmidt, his problem, not just tonight, but all season, when he gets into trouble, it's when he's behind in the count. Because, man, popping 95 and 96 and that big looping breaking ball, that is devastating when you have hitters defensive when they're behind in the count. But if you're behind in the count and you have to throw a strike and they know 95's coming, good college hitters will time it. And that's what's happened to William Schmidt. So he's just got to get ahead in the count. And he was, by and large, for the 9 consecutive hitters that he retired. Then you got into the 4th inning and you started to see the command fade a little bit, and he started getting behind in counts, had to throw strikes, and then he allowed double, homer, single, walk, and then he was out of the game, and Connor Binge came in. Binge got out of it. I thought really the most encouraging thing tonight, I don't doubt that LSU's offense is really good and going to hit. We talked about it all weekend, y'all. The Auburn thing was an outlier. It's just, this is a really good LSU offense that hits 1 through 9 that had a miserable weekend. I don't think there's anything you extrapolate from that other than a really good team that had a really bad weekend. So you went out and offensively, you had a great night. But we were wanting to see this bullpen continue to develop. And the bullpen was great this weekend against Auburn. And they continued it again. Benj, Ware, Rizzi, Williams, Myers combined to go 2, 3, 4, 5 and 2/3. 5 and 2/3, allowing 1 run. 5 and 2/3, allowing 1 run. Just 2 walks. They were both Connor Ware. Benj, Rizzi, Williams, Myers. None of them walked a batter. And let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 strikeouts for your bullpen as well. So I thought the fact that you ran out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relievers, and they all were really good in this ball game. Now, Connor Ware only recorded 1. He faced 3 batters. He got 1 out, walked 2. But Ware was awesome this weekend. I'm not really worried about Connor Ware. Rizzi, Williams, Myers have been guys that have struggled with walks, and all of them are awesome. Maverick Rizzi, this was the best outing of his career. He threw 41 pitches, went 2 2/3, struck out 6, walked none. So he allowed 1 hit. 1 guy reached base against him. He faced 10 hitters, 1 guy reached base. I thought Maverick Rizzi was awesome. And when you're 6'9", and you got that whip and you throw 98, if you can command it, you're going to be a problem. And I think Maverick Rizzi throughout his career will be a problem. And if he continues to learn command and discipline, he's going to be a spot reliever for this team. When you need a righty to come get a strikeout, there's 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. You need a strikeout. You go to the bullpen, you can go get Maverick Rizzi and say, get me a strikeout. Like, it's there for you. So if you trust it, if you trust the command, and he's earning that trust. So great outing tonight for a lot of those guys out of the bullpen. And look, even Rizzi in the bottom of the 5th cleaned up a mess. Remember, if you remember how that 5th went, it was Benj hit the first batter of the inning. So then they bring in Ware, who goes walk, sac fly, walk. Then they brought in Rizzi, and it didn't start great. Rizzi got ahead 1-2 on the first hitter he faced and hit him, but then went strikeout to get out of it. Then in the 6th and the 7th, got him up and down in order. So I thought Maverick Rizzi was awesome getting out of the mess in the 5th and then getting him in order in the 6th and the 7th, which really accelerated the game because, man, that game started to drag. You talk about a 4-hour baseball game on a Tuesday night. You're 3 hours in and it's the 5th inning, and I'm going, man, this thing's going to go to midnight. And Maverick Rizzi entered and just was mowing him down. So a really good day for the bullpen. By the way, LSU staff got McNeese in order in the 2nd, the 3rd, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 7th. So 5 of the 9 innings, you got them in order. And in the 9th, it was just the 2-out single that Myers gave up. So you almost had him in order there as well. So really, really, really strong day for the LSU pitching staff. So Tigers win. They'll have a light workout on Wednesday, and then you're at it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Remember, the league went to that on Easter weekend some years ago, where the entire league plays Thursday, Friday, Saturday on Easter weekend, so everyone has Easter Sunday off. So Tigers will be at home against Alabama, and the good news is, man, after the bad weekend against Auburn, you got to get right back after it tonight. You got to feel good. You get the bad taste out of your mouth. You get to get right after it again to take on Alabama, and then you'll have a long week before Tennessee comes to the box for what will be a massive weekend next week. But order in hand, got to take 2 out of 3 against Alabama this weekend. Get yourself back on track after being swept at Auburn. Okay, it is Locked on LSU, your team every day. LSU wins 10-3 over McNeese. Let me grab my very, 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 very quick break. And when we come back, we'll do your questions and comments and drop them in the chat here on Locked on LSU, your team every day. There is nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Here's why I love Gametime, the all-in pricing. We've all been there before, where you go to a ticketing app, you purchase a ticket for what you think is going to be a price. By the time you get to checkout, it's like double that number. That never happens with Gametime. What you see is what you pay, and I love that about their app. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem with the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Today's show is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investment spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, use Monarch Money to check your finances, track your spending, even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Okay, LSU beats McNeese 10-3. Tigers bounce back after a difficult weekend at Auburn. Let's get to your questions and comments. Thomas, great to see you there. The Mayo, good to see Jones get the bat on the ball tonight, get out of that slump. No doubt there's a lot of people who were desperate, I think, to see Jared Jones and were maybe pressing and thinking he should have been out of the lineup. It's just foolish, man. We talked about it plenty. Jared Jones is a great hitter. We know he's a great collegiate hitter. He hits to all field for average and power. And that's a guy that you were just waiting for a night like this. So he gets going, and it was great to see. So now you head into a weekend where you're going to need Jared Jones back at the box on what will be a great weather weekend for baseball, and fired up for it. Let's see. Didn't take Bear long to get out of slump. Do you think this line will be the same this weekend? That's a great question, and I don't think it will be. Now, I say that with this caveat. Jay Johnson is unconventional, and he is known to go gut feel at times, and if something's working, he'll stick with it. And it worked tonight. He scored 10 runs on 13 hits, and everybody hit, and Jared Jones got hitting, got hitting and all that stuff. Jay did say in the pregame that this was a game-specific deal where you knew the way McNeese sort of handles their midweek is they'll use 9 pitchers. Like, they'll roll a different guy out there for every inning. It's just the way they do it. In this ball game, McNeese ended up using Morgan, Coppinger, Fritcher, Primo, Nachim, Mott, Corrales, Swenson, Shrimska, 8. It's 9. They used 9 pitchers in this ballgame. So Jay said this was going to be sort of a game-specific thing in his pregame interview, but it worked. So they stick with it. We'll see. Personally, I like Derek Curiel at the top of the lineup as your table setter. I also have no problem with moving Jared Jones to the 3-hole. If you have another offensive weapon with a high on-base percentage to put ahead of him. The problem is, if you put Curiel back in the leadoff and you put Dickinson 2 and Jones as 3, then who protects Jones? Do you move Milo up? Well, Milam's only hitting 222 in league play. Well, I'll tell you right now. Milam's hitting 231, in league play. I mean, is that who you want trying to protect Jared Jones? I think they pitch around Jones and they pitch to Milam because Milam has struggled in league play. So I think probably reverts to what he had been doing. But then again, who knows with Jay, because he is unconventional and he will ride a hunch and a streak. Hey, Thomas, thanks for being there. NIL young boy missed the reason Aaron Beatty wasn't in the lineup. Yeah, so he was a scratch about 15 minutes before the game, and they didn't say on the broadcast why. So typically when that happens, it's usually an injury, an illness, something like that. So it was supposed to be Aaron Beatty, but it wasn't until like the lineup that was originally posted was Aaron Beatty. And about 15 minutes before game time was that switch when Hernandez started. So I'm certain in the postgame, Jay Johnson will address it. we're doing this show right now instead of listening to the post game. So if someone's listening to the post game, then jumping on here, hop in and let us know. But we'll talk about it as we move forward. Hey, Randy Jones, James Purdy. Looks like Schmidt and Rizzi are getting a little more comfortable. Bullpen seems to be coming along. James, I'm glad you said it. And if you're an everydayer and you've been here with us, you'll probably remember this. But early in the season, as the bullpen was struggling, one of my mantras was guys are allowed to improve. We even saw it a year ago where the team struggled early. They were very good by the end of the season. Look back to the championship team. If you want me to go check social media, I could probably find a lot of y'all talking not great about Ty Floyd early in the season. And then what happened? Kept after it, pitched himself into being a late first-round pick. Like, I think the same thing is going to happen for Chase Shores this year. Like, guy hadn't pitched in 2 years. He's still getting back to the comfort. So I think by the end of the season, mark this down, by the way, I think by the end of the season, Chase Shores is going to be awesome and a dominant arm for you. So, yes, Rizzi is coming along. William Schmidt is getting more comfortable. This was midweek against the Southland Conference team, but still out there throwing strikes, which is what you want to see, and hopefully you translate that to the weekend. Hey, Abner, thanks for being there. Jason Frugier, thank God they bounced back. It was nice to see. Christopher Braswell should always be in the lineup. I don't disagree. He's a better defender at third. He's a 300 hitter in SEC play. I understand that Reeves, as another left-handed bat with a high ceiling, has a role. I almost look at Reeves the same way I do Aaron Beatty. If you want to play Aaron Beatty in the midweek to get him experience, great. You want to do the same with Reeves at third? Okay. That would kind of be my approach. But in league play, I'm with you. I'm good with Braswell being in there. That's kind of been my point all along because you know what you have. A veteran guy that's got 400 career at-bats. He's played in over 200 collegiate games and is a guy that's shown you he can hit 300 in SEC play and is a good defender. I'm with you. I would like him on the left side of the infield. Jeff, where is Locked On LSU in the Locked On ratings? Thank you for asking, Jeff. Yeah, so last month in the Locked On college ratings, we were second on the audio side. So they break it down audio and video. We were second on the we were third on the audio side. We dropped a spot because Locked On College Basketball bumped up to second, which obviously the NCAA tournament. But I fully anticipate we'll be back in second place this month, right behind Locked On Auburn. So my guy Zach Blackerby at Locked On Auburn does an awesome job. But that just goes to show y'all, like, I don't like being second in anything, and I certainly don't like being second to an Auburn guy. So I need y'all to share this. I need y'all to send this podcast to every LSU fan you know and encourage them to watch and subscribe. Bryce Matthew Rizzi doesn't sound right. Yeah, Ben McDonald got tripped up a good bit tonight. He kept calling Maverick Rizzi Matthew Rizzi on the broadcast. Guy Brooks, hey, Donnie, thanks for being there. Cole Adams, I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Rocky, it was good to see these guys flush the weekend. Awesome to see Rizzi pitch well. Is he a Saturday night guy next season? Well, it's way too premature to say that. Keep in mind, Cade Anderson is a draft-eligible sophomore, so he's going to be gone. Chase Shores likely also will be gone. Ianson, this is his draft year. So all three of those guys you anticipate being gone. William Schmidt will be back. Rizzi will be back. Remember Devin Sheeran from Mount St. Mary's who tore his ACL, so is unavailable this year. Devin Sheeran's the guy that's 6'10 and throws 100. We haven't seen him this year because he tore his ACL, but he'll be back next year. And you're going to go in the portal in the same way you did this year to go get Ianson and Cowan and arms like that. So hard to say right now, but Rizzi certainly has the ability to be that. Reed Kilgore, 2-out RBI win championships. Boy, that fourth inning, the bottom of the fourth was a lot of fun. Eric, that's why you play in your own ballpark will do. That's what playing in your own ballpark will do for your offense. Way to bounce back. No doubt, man. Thank you for being an everydayer. It's one of the things about baseball that I know as someone who loves baseball, traditionalists will hate to hear me say this, but I hate that every ballpark has different dimensions. I think there should be uniformity in baseball. In the same way that it's 60 feet, 6 inches from the rubber to home plate, in the same way that it's 90 feet between the bases, I think there should be uniformity in the ballpark's dimensions. The fact that we count batting averages and statistics the same, but you can go play at a place like Georgia where it's 300 to right field, where a mishit fly ball is a homer, and that counts the same as a 415-foot bomb to dead center at the box. It's just stupid. But that's what you were up against this weekend at Auburn, which has an unconventionally shaped ballpark where it's shorter to center. You got the short port and left with the tall wall. So you got to bang doubles off the wall, which Auburn did this weekend and LSU didn't. Hey, Shannon, hope Guidry can get well soon. Look, at this point, you look at Guidry as a luxury if you get him back. Fry had a rough weekend against Auburn. So did everyone else. Fry's had a rough couple of weekends in conference play. And his average is down, hovering around 200 in league play. And that, by the way, has been the norm for Fry for 3 years of his college career. Same thing with Josh Pearson. A lot of people don't love me saying it, but Pearson this year's hitting 225 in conference play. So Pearson overall is at 296, so he's a shade under 300, but he's 70 points lower in league play. And that's always been the thing with Pearson. He provides big moments, but he doesn't provide consistency. So, in any event, some of you are saying that Guidry is going to be done for the year. If Jay has said that, that's disappointing. Again, I'm not listening to the post game, so I don't know. I'm going to take the fact that some of you are posting this tells me y'all are listening to this. Okay. So Guidry, a lot of you are saying this, that Guidry had season-ending surgery or procedure. So, okay, Bryce Coons saying it. Okay. Forgive me. I didn't have that. Okay. A lot of you are saying it now. Okay. That's disappointing, man. I think my pretty consistent comment with Guidry all year was what they had said, which is you're hopeful but not optimistic. And so now you're not going to have him, so get on without him. You've made it to this point in the season without him, and as disappointing as it is, you'd love to see these guys continue to step up. Rizzy and Cooper Williams tonight were awesome. It was great to see Jacob Myers pitch well. Also faced one over the minimum. He allowed the little bloop single in left. But you got plenty of stuff. So keep having these guys develop, which would be great. Stacy, does hitting against McNeese really count as coming out of a slump? Absolutely. It's still guys out there throwing. Listen, Stacy, and I respect the question very much. But let's look at real quick. And by the way, McNeese is number 26 in the RPI. They held the nation's longest winning streak. They won a midweek game on the road at Houston last week as well. So that's not a bad baseball team, by the way. Ole Miss tonight. Ole Miss proven to be a pretty good team, 11th in the country. Ole Miss tonight lost to Little Rock 7-3. I mean, it's not crippling to their season by any means. We talk about it all the time. Midweek games don't really matter. You take care of business in SEC play and you're going to be fine. But the bottom line is when you're facing live pitching and it's for real, baseball is the only I wouldn't care. Here you go. This will be better. Forgive me 1 second, y'all. Let me pull this up. So last season, the Tennessee football team opened their season against Chattanooga and won 69-3. They played NC State, won 51-10. They played Kent State, won 71-0. They go on the road to play Oklahoma, and they scored 15 points. Then they went at Arkansas, scored 14 points. Point being, when you run a certain style of offense and you got better athletes, you can score 69 against Chattanooga and 71 against Kent State. But you start punching at your own weight, and all of a sudden, you're humbled. In baseball, LSU can lose to Southern because that's baseball. As the great Roger Cador, legendary coach, would say, you could hit the ball 400 feet, it's an out. You could hit the ball 4 feet, and it's a base hit. But that's baseball. Forgive the awful accent. But that's kind of the point. So in any event, yes, when you're facing live pitching and there's another team that's trying, you still have to hit a round ball with a round bat and make contact and put it where they aren't and get on base. And LSU did that consistently. And the big inning in the fourth with 6 consecutive hitters reaching base with 2 outs. Yes, that's amazing. So I was happy to see that. Very happy to see that. All right. Maybe a couple more. Let's see. This one said, Matt, what's up with Jake Brown? I mean, Jake Brown had an RBI single tonight in the first, and I know he also walked tonight. Brown was 1 for 5 with the RBI. For me, he didn't walk. He struck out. I think Jake Brown was fine. Look, the running catch he made and right on the foul line and right for the second out of the 9th inning was awesome. Jake Brown's hitting .319 on the season. Actually, after tonight, let me correct that. After tonight, Brown's hitting .313 after tonight. And in conference play, Brown is hitting .263. I'm not telling you that's anything to write home about, but that's 40 points higher than Pearson and Fry. And by the way, you have only 2 hitters over 300 in conference play. Stanfield's at .360 and Curiel's at .323. So Brown at .263, good relative to the rest of your offense. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Jake Brown. I would love to see him. Yeah, he's .263 in conference play, but Fry's .222, Pearson's .225, Milam's .231, Jones is .254. I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with Jake Brown being. I've told you this a million times. I want Jake Brown in my everyday lineup. He's your best right fielder. He can hit to all fields for average and for power. I want consistency there. I would rotate Pearson and Fry at DH, and Brown would be my everyday right fielder. But I don't get to make the lineup. Okay, y'all. Let's see, one more. Stacy, dude, I'm an everydayer. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate that. Only watch because you're rational. I know this is baseball. It's a game of failure. Auburn series was bad. Concerning is all for SEC play. Auburn series was terrible, Stacy. There's no doubt about it. But everybody in the history of ever has had a bad weekend. LSU had a bad weekend. I mean, I'm comfortable saying that was a terrible weekend. We talked about it post-game every single game. And it was frustrating because you got outplayed, and I think you got outcoached, quite frankly. And there were things specific to that ballpark, like, again, using the short wall, the tall wall in the short field and left to your advantage didn't do it. Derek Curiel struggled catching balls against that wall all weekend. You elevated the baseball. They had a great approach where they were elevating pitches, and you were just kept hitting lazy fly balls. You never changed your approach. I think you didn't execute, and you were outcoached all weekend long. All the buttons that Jay pushed, even putting Fry in there as the DH against a righty, like all the things that Jay did this week. Look, a lot of times he pushes the right buttons. Everything he did this weekend didn't work. And you got outplayed and outcoached, and that sucked. The great news is halfway point of league play, you're at 10-5. You got 15 games to go 10-5 in those 15. You're a national seed, and your road to Omaha runs through the box. And I like the chances. So, and the bullpen is really coming along. So Tigers get Alabama this weekend. You know where we'll be. Right here, Locked on LSU. After each and every game, we'll look forward to seeing you here. Let's get out of here, y'all. It is Locked on LSU. Hey, thanks so much for being with us. If you're with us live or on demand on podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. And let a friend know if they love the Tigers. We got you here every single day. For Locked on LSU, your team every day.